Okay guys, story time. Flashback 4 years ago. I'm standing in the mirror talking to myself like usual, and then I'm all like, dude, yo, this shit sucks. I want to look like that Connor Murphy dude. That guy probably pulls hella bitches. He is so fine. No homo. But I'm gonna work out, get pumped, get jacked, end up looking like Connor Murphy. Did I just say that? Okay, whatever. Anyway, fast forward. Present day, 2018. Hell yeah, dude, I'm looking pretty good. But why am I not getting any bigger? Where's the gains, man? I've been counting my calories, watching my macros, working out 4 times a week, and I even buy all that supplement crap that they sell me at GNC. Why am I not getting any bigger, man? What am I doing wrong? So then I'm like, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna find the biggest, most jacked personal trainer. He's gonna know what to do about this. Bro, do you really think those dudes in those bodybuilder shows are all natural? Hell no. They're on the juice, man. Even in professional sports and Olympics these days, the entire team is on the juice. Bruh, I don't want any of that steroid shit. I don't want my balls to shrink, be sweaty and pissed off all day. No, fuck that. Bruh, I'm not even talking about steroids. It's not the 90s anymore. It's 2018 over here. Science has moved on from injecting people with artificial testosterone and human growth hormone. We got SARMs now. What the fuck are SARMs? Bro, they're an artificial hormone, even more anabolic than testosterone itself. And unlike testosterone, they selectively target certain tissues, like your muscles and your bones, and cause those to grow while avoiding your hair and your testicles so you don't get those nasty steroid side effects. For real? Where can I get some of that shit? Bro, I got you. I know a dude who knows another dude who knows a different dude who sells it out of his garage. Super legit, not sketchy at all. But this is like some experimental ass side effects not fully known, not approved by the FDA kind of bullshit we're talking about here. So, but it's gonna be fun. Are you in or what? Bet. Is this scene over yet? It's your boy Paul here. Hey, what's up, YouTube? That was pretty cringeworthy. Today we're talking about SARMs. We're going to be talking about Selective Androgen Receptor Modulators and how to use them. Now, it's a really broad class of performance-enhancing drugs, and we're just going to get right into it. Now, all of the drugs I'm going to be covering today do the same thing, which is they help you build lean muscle mass while you're bulking, which means you're in a caloric surplus, or they help you preserve your lean muscle mass when you're cutting, which is when you're in a caloric deficit. Now, when you're cutting and you're losing weight and you're trying to get rid of body fat, sometimes you will end up losing muscle, which is definitely not what you want to do. You want to keep as much of your muscle as possible when cutting and gain as much muscle as possible when bulking. And keep in mind, it's always going to be easier to lose body fat than it will be to build muscle. Okay, first of all, the main side effect that you're going to encounter from using these SARMs is that they're going to suppress the natural production of your testosterone. And if you want to build muscle, you need testosterone. You are not going to build muscle mass without testosterone. So after you're done cycling, after you're done using some SARMs, you're going to want to get your testosterone levels back to normal as fast as possible. So while we're using SARMs or any performance-enhancing drug, we want to be safe. And we can be safe by checking our hormone levels regularly. So there's this at-home blood test that you can use to check your testosterone and estrogen levels regularly. I actually have it right over here, one sec. I take one of these tests every month. It's $120 on Amazon, link in description, and I know $120 is like a lot of money, but when doing this, you want to be safe and you want to know what your testosterone and estrogen levels are at all times. We're going to get into that in a minute. The test is really easy to do. You just prick your finger within an hour after waking up, then you blot the blood on this dry card. You wait for the blood to dry, then you mail it in and you get your results within a week or two. It's way more convenient than going to a lab or a hospital all the time. In addition to screwing up your hormones, your testosterone and your estrogen, the other main side effect from SARMs is that it will mess with your cholesterol and triglyceride levels inside of your blood. So you'll have less good cholesterol, more bad cholesterol. It's not what you want, that's not healthy. But that's one of the main side effects from using SARMs. ZRT, the same company who did the blood test, they also do a triglyceride. And the main reason I wanted to make this video is because there is so much bullshit information out there on the internet. So many like, oh bros. If you do a Google search on SARMs, 90% of the results are from these sketchy sites that are just trying to sell you SARMs. And I've seen them write a bunch of nonsense in professional looking blog posts like, these SARMs have no side effects at all. 99.9% of users will experience no side effects. They're just awesome. You'll be gaining tons tons of muscle mass and losing tons of body fat all the time. There's just so much misinformation and bullshit out there floating around. I had to make this video. And when I talk about each one of these SARMs, the information that I put out is based on scientific research. It's not based on something I read on a forum by some dude, bro. It's based on actual scientific study. And as a final warning, SARMs are not for people who are newbie lifters. Like if you are just getting into lifting, if you are 18, 19, 20 years old, I don't even want to see you watching this video. Like just turn it off, don't even look away, don't even think about this right now. When you just start working out, it is so easy to gain muscle mass. You don't need any sort of performance enhancing drug until you've reached that plateau about like 2 or 3 years into your lifting career, and it will happen. Eventually, you'll be working out at the same routine and your gains will slow down or stop. You'll notice that no matter how you diet, no matter how you work out, no matter what you change, like you're not really getting any stronger, you're not getting any bigger, nothing's really changing. And you can't build muscle without testosterone. So when you're 18, 19, 20, 21, your testosterone is really high, like 1,000. And then as you get older, like 25, 30, that testosterone level is gonna drop pretty rapidly. And it's gonna be a lot harder for you to gain muscle mass and bulk up. Even if you're doing the exact same thing as those kids are, having the same diet, the same macros, the same workout program, you're just not gonna see the same level of gains. Now, I did the ZRT blood test and it came back that naturally, my natural testosterone levels, you know, without any performance enhancing drugs, nothing. I've never taken anything in my life. I have low testosterone and high estrogen, just naturally. It's just bad genes. It's just how my body works. You know, it's something I inherited from my parents, I'm assuming, and there's nothing really I can do to correct it aside from using drugs. So my testosterone came in at 285 and my estrogen came in at 54. Now the normal range for testosterone is 300 to 1,000, which means if I went to a doctor, he could prescribe me testosterone replacement therapy, which is just like this artificial testosterone you inject or put on your skin that will boost your testosterone while shutting down your natural testosterone production. I don't want to do that. Forget that. I've read that the ideal healthy range for testosterone is between 400 and 600, and for estrogen, it's between 20 and 30. So your body still needs estrogen. That's just a normal part of your life. And you're still gonna want a moderate level of testosterone. When you get up to higher levels of testosterone, like 1,000 and above, yeah, you get a lot of gains, but you start having problems. Like, I talk to bodybuilders at my gym, right? You know, one of those big guys who are just like, his testosterone is over 1,000 at all times, but his head's shaved, and that's because all his hair fell out. And the male pattern baldness got pretty bad, which is one of the consequences of having high testosterone. Testosterone gets converted to DHT. DHT binds to your hair follicle receptors and thins your hair and eventually causes it to fall out. So that's not something you really want. Now, I've read a lot about the psychological effects of having low testosterone or high testosterone, but honestly, after experiencing a wide range of testosterone levels for me in the past 6 months, I'd say it's a lot of hype, a lot of placebo, a lot of just people thinking stuff that isn't really there. You know, companies will tell you, oh, you have low testosterone, you're gonna be depressed, you're gonna be unassertive, you're gonna be weak and lazy. Whereas if you have high testosterone, you're gonna be aggressive, assertive, you're gonna have mood swings. I haven't really noticed my testosterone levels affecting my mood or my behavior at all. I really don't feel any different when my testosterone was 100 versus 500. Like, it really didn't make me feel different. I didn't feel depressed or aggressive or having wild mood swings. It was just my normal self. The only thing I really noticed from having higher levels of testosterone was I definitely sweat more, I had a worse body odor, my face would get more oily and more pimply, and when I was in the shower, I was always afraid, this is probably just me being paranoid, but I was afraid, like, you know, you wash your hair and you're like, oh my god, look, there's 10 hairs on my hand, I'm going bald, I knew it, oh my god. But that's probably just me being paranoid. My hair's fine. All right, for our first drug, we are going to be covering MK2866, also known as Osterin, the one I'm most familiar with. Another made-up name for it is Enobosarm, Osterin, whatever. It's the same thing. I'm just going to use their scientific names because I think they sound cooler and it helps avoid a lot of confusion. Okay, in a study, they gave MK2866 to elderly men And these elderly men, over the course of 3 months, they managed to lose 1 pound of body fat and gain 3 pounds of muscle mass without changing anything. No working out, no change in diet, nothing. They just gained muscle, lost fat just by taking it. Now these are elderly men, so they don't have a ton of muscle. You know, it's easier for them to put on gains than somebody who's been working out really hard all the time. But it shows that simply having this drug in your system will help build muscle mass. All right, let's put the stats up on the board over here. So in the beginning of this year, I tried MK2866 for the first time. Now in February, I started a cutting cycle, which is when I try to lose body fat. And I wanted to be scientific with my results, so I went and did a DEXA scan regularly. All right, if you don't already know what a DEXA scan is, it's basically a bed you lay down on, and then you have this x-ray machine that just scans your entire body like a printer, measuring your body fat, bone density, and the amount of lean muscle mass that you have. It is the best, most accurate test for measuring your body fat percentage. I know there's all these other methods like the skin fold, body fat percentage test with calipers, but DEXA scan is the most scientific. And in my experience, the other methods that they use to measure body fat percentage like way underestimate the amount of body fat that you actually have. So if you see some bro walking around your gym going like, oh, I just measured my skin calipers today and I'm 5% body fat. Yep, that's right guys, 5% body fat. Those skin caliper things aren't very accurate. He's probably actually at 12% body fat if he did a real like DEXA scan. We're gonna get into my results in a minute, but like my DEXA scan will come back saying I'm 13% body fat. And then the skin calipers will say I'm like 7 or 8. Now DEXA scans are performed by this company called DEXAFit. I'm gonna link to their website down below in case you can find a location near you. The closest one to me, unfortunately, is in Chicago, which is a 3-hour drive from where I live. So I don't do them very regularly, but I try to do a DEXA scan at least 4 times a year just so I can track where my progress is at. Now I spent 2.5 months cutting while on MK2866, and in 2.5 months, I went down from 175 pounds to 167.5 pounds. I lost a total of 8 pounds of body fat and gained half a pound of lean mass. I don't necessarily want to say that that's muscle because the DEXA scan can't distinguish between muscle and water. So you could cheat the DEXA scan by being really hydrated and drinking a lot of water, and it'll make you look like you have a lot of lean mass. Keep that in mind. So I went from having 28.8 pounds of body fat down to 20.8 pounds of body fat over the course of 2.5 months, kept all my muscle mass in the process, and went down to 12.5% body fat, which is pretty good. I know I can do better. I know I can get leaner and go lower, but that's pretty good. So my next phase, I spent 3 months trying to bulk while on MK2866, which means I'm trying to gain as much muscle mass as I can, as fast as I can. Now keep in mind, remember I said I had low testosterone, so I have been building almost no lean muscle mass. In the past 1.5 years, according to DEXA scans, I only gained 7.5 pounds of lean mass in a 1.5 years. Yeah, that's right. That's fucking pathetic. And almost all of that lean mass was probably just from me using creatine, and the creatine causing more water retention inside of my muscles. So I probably haven't built any muscle mass in a long time. Now in those 3 months, I went from 167.5 pounds up to 172 pounds, 3.3 pounds of which were lean muscle mass. The other 1.2 pounds of which was body fat, so I was relieved that I wasn't packing on body fat like I was afraid I was, bringing my total body fat percentage up to 13.1%. So that was pretty good. So on the whole, after using MK2866, I'm gonna say that it's better at helping you preserve muscle mass while cutting than it is helping you gain lean muscle mass. That wasn't a huge gain, because 3 pounds of muscle in 3 months, it's not a huge gain. It's all right, but it's nothing that big. So I'm just saying that despite all the bro advice out there, if you start using this drug, it's not gonna cause you to explode in muscle overnight, okay? No matter what you read on a message board. Now let's talk about side effects. So like I said earlier in the video, I started at 285 testosterone and 54 estrogen, which was pretty low. So before I started using MK2866, I wanted to get my testosterone up and my estrogen down. So to get my testosterone up, I used Clomid, and to get my estrogen down, I used Arimistane. So Clomid is a fertility drug that is approved for helping women get pregnant, but it will also improve testosterone production in men, whereas Arimistane is a aromatase inhibitor. So your testosterone gets converted by aromatase into estrogen. So when you have high testosterone, your body will convert it into estrogen. So an aromatase inhibitor binds to the aromatase instead of the testosterone, blocking it. So like your testosterone is not converted into estrogen. So your estrogen will go down and your testosterone will go up. So after doing a month of this, my testosterone went to 498 and my estrogen went to 116. So obviously arimistane does not work at all. I don't care what dude bro supplement is trying to sell you. Arimistane does not work. Don't use it. Instead, I switched to using exemestane, which was definitely very effective at lowering my estrogen levels. My estrogen went from 116 down to below 10 in only 2 months. Yeah, it was so low, the blood test couldn't even measure it, which isn't what you want. I overdid it. That was definitely overkill. I don't recommend doing that. Just be careful. But keep in mind, that's why we do these blood tests. It's so that we can stay healthy, know where we're at, know how much we're using and how much we should be using. Now, when you're doing cycles, if you're measuring your hormones regularly, you can use Clomid and exemestane to help adjust these levels. Now, back to MK2866 side effects. MK2866 took my testosterone levels from 498 all the way down to 98. Yeah, that's right, 98 in a matter of 2 months of continuous usage. So if you read anywhere that MK2866 does not suppress your testosterone, they are full of shit, okay? Because it does suppress your testosterone. Expect it, anticipate it. Don't listen to anybody who says otherwise. They're just probably trying to sell you crap. But like I said, I really didn't notice much of a difference between 498 and 98 in terms of like psychologically. It wasn't a big deal, and I got my testosterone back to normal levels with Clomid anyway, so no big deal. There are other drugs you can use to raise your testosterone, and there are other aromatase inhibitors you can use to lower your estrogen levels. But we're not getting into those right now. I'm just listing those for reference for you doing your own research if you feel like it. So overall, I'd say MK2866 it's worth taking, it's worth trying, but it's a lot of hype. Don't expect you to change overnight. You still gotta watch your macros, watch your diet, work and hit hard at the gym. I don't want people to think that just because you're partaking in a performance-enhancing drug that you don't have to try anymore and that you can be lazy, because that is not the case at all. It's gonna give you an edge, but it's not gonna do all the work for you. Okay, the second drug we're gonna talk about is LGD4033, also known as Lingradol. We're putting the stats up here, right over here, and yes, the recommended dosage is 2 milligrams per day. You did not read that wrong, 2 milligrams per day. I see a lot of bodybuilders out there talking about using 5 to 10 milligrams a day of this drug. This is an extremely potent drug, and I don't think it's safe to try to use that much of it. Now, I've never personally used it, but to give you an example, in this one study, men were administered 1 milligram of LGD4033 per day over the course of 3 weeks. That's it, only 3 weeks. And in those 3 weeks, they gained 2.7 pounds of muscle mass. And unlike our previous study with MK2866, these are regular dudes, 20, 30, 40 years old in the study. These aren't elderly men. So they gained a lot of muscle mass really quickly just with 1 milligram. That's what I mean. I believe that for gaining muscle mass, LGD4033 is the most powerful SARM there is out there right now. It's a lot more powerful than MK2866, but you gotta keep in mind that it has even stronger side effects. So over the course of those 3 weeks, just 3 weeks of using 1 milligram, reduced their testosterone by 300. Yeah, by 300. That's basically cutting your testosterone in half. It also lowered their HDL, which is your good cholesterol. It lowered their HDL significantly, which is not healthy. So if you do choose to use that in the future, keep that in mind. It's not something I've personally used. I might consider trying it in the future. It's probably the best bodybuilding SARM that there is out there right now. But be careful, be cautious, don't overdo it. And the third SARM I want to talk about today, it's what I believe to be the most promising one overall. The one I'm most excited about. It's very new. It just started its first human trial last year for treating breast cancer. And we're not going to get the results of that until 2020. But I think this is a really promising drug for a lot of reasons. And it's called RAD140. Now let's put the stats up there on the board over there. Now the side effects of it are unknown, simply because it hasn't been tested yet, like I said. That isn't to say it doesn't have side effects, just that the side effects aren't known yet. Now, aside from building muscle and losing body fat, some of the benefits of it are that it may prevent neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's, that it may fight breast cancer. Like I said, it's in trials right now for fighting breast cancer. Supposedly it does not suppress testosterone, which personally I don't believe. That's another bro science myth probably. Now if any of that was true, that would make the drug really beneficial just in general, not even for bodybuilding. One thing that did concern me was that in one of the studies, RAD140 caused heart problems for rats, but it did not cause heart problems for chimps. So it probably won't cause heart problems for humans, but we won't know until those clinical trials come back. Anyway, I think that Rad 140 is really promising. I plan on using it, trying it out for a while, and then making another video explaining my results that I got from using it. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Okay, and finally, to close this video out, I want to talk about some SARMs that other people are selling that I think you should avoid. The first is MK677. Also called Nutrabol. Now what this drug does is it causes a release of human growth hormone in your body for gaining muscle mass. But the problems are that it also weakens your immune system. If you happen to have cancer, and you probably don't know that you have cancer if you have cancer, releasing human growth hormone is a bad idea because it will cause the cancer to grow as well as your muscles. It can also stop being effective if you use it long enough, and it can also cause insulin resistance or diabetes. In this one study I read, elderly men were administered 25 milligrams of MK677 per day, and over the course of an entire year of using this, they only gained 2.2 pounds of lean muscle mass. So you compare that to MK2866, which helped elderly men gain 3 pounds of muscle mass in 3 months versus 2.2 pounds in an entire year. So that's not very impressive for its bodybuilding capabilities. In that study, I should say, it did help reduce bad cholesterol levels. So overall, I don't think MK677 is promising at all. I don't know why people sell it. I don't know why people use it. I think its effects sound weak and that it has a lot of bad side effects that no one wants. Alright, the next one I want to talk about avoiding is S4, also known as Andarin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing any of these names right. I don't know if anybody pronounces these names right, but that's how I'm pronouncing it. Now, S4 supposedly causes modest gains in muscle mass, modest losses in fat. And I'd have to double check this, but I believe it was used by a lot of athletes in the 2016 Summer Olympics before it was banned. And that's how new a lot of these drugs are. Like Rad 140 that I was talking about previously, like it only just got put on the ban list by the Athletic Commission starting in 2018. Like athletes could have been using it for a year or two before they put it on the ban list, before they even developed a blood test for this thing. But anyway, the reason I don't like S4 is because it causes vision problems. Temporary vision problems. It causes night blindness. Now I know a guy who goes to my gym and he used S4 before while getting ready for a bodybuilding show, and he described the night blindness like you walk into a gym and everything is really bright and it takes a really long time for your eyes to adjust and come down, and then you go outside and everything is really dark and it takes a really long time for your eyes to adjust and be able to see at night. And screwing up my vision to get gains, even if it's just a temporary screw up, like that's a little scary to me. If you guys want to risk it, it's your body, but I personally do not recommend using a drug that has side effects like that. The next drug I want to talk about not using is GW501516. Yeah, that's a really long name, also known as Cardarin. Now the reason why I don't like this SARM is because the developers of the SARM actually abandoned it while it was still in animal testing because it caused stomach cancer in the rats that they were testing it on. Yeah, that's right. It caused stomach cancer on the rats that they were testing it on. And then you have these sketchy SARM sites selling that same drug and recommending it to bodybuilders. I know if you go out there, you can find lots of blog posts, lots of Reddit posts of dude bros who are like, oh man, I used this drug, I totally didn't get stomach cancer. I don't know any of my friends who have stomach cancer. Whatever, that study was bullshit. This drug is great, it's fine. Okay, if you want to risk getting stomach cancer because some dude bro that you don't even know said it was okay, that's up to you. You might want to reconsider a lot of your life decisions, you know, but like, okay, go, you go do you, okay? As soon as somebody tells me a drug could potentially cause cancer, I'm out. I'm done. Bye. Not gonna be part of that. And the final drug I want to talk about not using is YK11, which doesn't even have a brand name because it was abandoned by the company that was developing it before it even made it to human trials. And it's technically not even a SARM. I don't know why SARM sites sell it as if it is a SARM. It's actually a steroid. If you've used it in the past and you liked it or disliked it, just drop a comment or something telling me about your personal experience. Maybe I'll reconsider it, but I imagine it has a lot of the same side effects as other steroids have, which is kind of like the point of using SARMs is so that you don't have to use steroids. Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to talk about. I'm not recommending anybody try this or anything like that. Do so at your own risk. Anything you put into your body, it's at your own risk. I am not an expert, a doctor. This is not treating any medical illness. I don't know. Whatever else they put in those drug commercials may cause death. I don't know. So all in all, I'm gonna say SARMs are really promising. They're probably not gonna make you look like the Hulk, you know, which is fine by me because I don't wanna look like the Hulk. I just wanna look like nice and aesthetic and ripped. Also, like I said before, don't think that just because you're using a SARM or any type of performance enhancing drug that you don't have to put in the hours of dedication working out, watching your diet, eating clean. You still need to do all of that, okay? I hope this was super helpful to you guys and entertaining. I'll see you guys in the next video. Work on them gains. Peace. And that's it for today. I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you to all you guys out there on YouTube who subscribe to my channel. I went from 0 subs to 1,000 in about a month and a half, which might not mean much to most people, but that means a lot to me. That video I made testing SARMs up here, I'm linking to it up here somewhere. That video just blew up when it had over 50,000 views in a month. And it's just so rewarding and encouraging to read all your positive comments on that video. So I really appreciate it. I'm gonna keep making videos like these that are helpful for your life in general. And thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Paul Fadica here. Peace out.